We see kids all the time doing amazing things. I mean, turn on the TV, check social media. I mean, they're like qualifying for the Olympics. They're marching for justice. I mean, this is the strong drive to do awesome things. But what if the kid in your life doesn't have that same drive? What if you're worried they might be a quitter? What if you're worried about what they're going to grow up to be? Dr. Elizabeth Mead, pediatrician at Swedish Medical Center, is here with us this morning. So thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Let's talk about this. Are kids hardwired to be like strivers or quitters? And is there anything in between?
There's a lot in between. I mean, I think we've all quit something.
Yeah,
Even
right?
the Olympians quit something else to make room for that in their life, right? So I think there's a wide spectrum of kids. Some kids find the thing they love early on and they just go with it. And some kids need to try some different things first.
So it isn't something that if my kid right now may be quitting things, that it means they're going to grow up and be a quitter.
Absolutely not. I think it's really normal for kids to try things out. It's not a good fit. There's lots of kids that as they grow up, they just have different strengths and weaknesses. And so it doesn't imply that at 25, your child is going to quit every job they ever have.
Okay, that's good. They're not going to move back into my basement
Exactly.
and I'm going to have to take care of them. That is good. So what, as a parent, I want to walk this fine line of being the helicopter parent, which I don't want to be, but I do want to encourage our kids to like not give up. How do I do that?
You know, I think especially if your child is starting a new activity, before they actually start, pretty early on, even younger kids, you can really sit down and say, let's talk about what this means. So this doesn't mean you're going to try it once and then stop. If you're going to commit to this, then we're going to say we're going to do it for at least X amount of time, whatever you decide that is, right? A month, 3 months, the season, whatever.
What shouldn't I do?
So I think if your child is saying, I don't want to do this anymore, the right response is not to just say, well, you have to do it and leave it at that, right? You really want to find out why your child doesn't want to go. So if they suddenly stop wanting to do something they've always liked before, or all of a sudden they hate going to baseball practice, ask them why. Really try to figure out what that kernel is, and is it something you can change so they do still enjoy that activity, or is it something where you say, well, yeah, maybe this isn't a great fit for these reasons.
I actually had that experience. My daughter does soccer, little kickers, and she loved it, and then suddenly she came home and she just didn't like it anymore. And we asked, and it turns out there was a kid there who was kind of a bully. And once we got her out of that class and into a different class, with different time, and with the same coach, she loves it again.
Exactly. So a lot of times just asking, your kid may not offer that information, but they'll usually tell you and help. You can kind of figure it out together.
What? So I want our kids, and I'm sure people at home want this too, to feel like they have control over their lives. But, you know, our kid is 4 and needs some guidance. So how is it that I not run her life for her, but I can show her how to not be a quitter, or when it's okay to be a quitter?
You know, it's a great point. It's really helpful for kids to have some choices and to be able to feel like they have some control and they can help decide which direction their life is going, even at a young age. But again, you are the parent. Little kids need a lot of guidance. So if you want your child to participate in sports, the conversation might be, here are 4 options that you have. Which one do you want to try? Not, do you want to do sports or not?
What about older kids, teens? I mean, that's even more difficult because they really don't want to tell us why they're quitting something, or we might not even know they quit something.
That's absolutely true. So sometimes if they don't want to talk to a parent, having them talk to your pediatrician or family doctor or to a counselor or teacher at school that they really trust. Sometimes kids will be more open with people who aren't mom or dad, right? So I think that's one thing. And also as kids get older, especially with playing sports, we actually really encourage kids to do more than one thing, not to specialize too early. So maybe your child could find something else that they want to do for half the year instead of that one thing all the time.
I think that's a great point, because you hear like Olympians who started when they were 4 years old and all they did was curl until they made it to the Olympics and did nothing else. And not that that's not awesome, but like as an everyday parent, I don't know that I could do that to my kids.
Yeah, you know, and I think we've talked about this here before, but we actually find that kids who do really well in sports, even as college or professional athletes, often played more than one sport well into their teenage years. It really helps round out those skills and helps avoid some of those sport-specific injuries.
Russell Wilson is a perfect example of that as a baseball player and a football player. Well, this is really helpful. So if your kid is quitting things, it's not they're going to grow up and be a quitter. You have some power in this, and the kids do too.
Right, absolutely. And I think it's okay to quit sometimes. Sometimes it just doesn't work. But if you're finding that your child is quitting every single thing they try, it's maybe time to sit down and talk about expectations.
Dr. Elizabeth Mead with Swedish, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it.